What's going on, lads and lasses? Welcome back to 100% Mags. So on this channel today, I will be doing, of course, the release of the fixtures, the talk about the fixtures, of course, ahead of the 25-26 season. So I do, of course, thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully we do get quite a few people watching the video today. But the fixtures were released this morning, leaked actually this morning, and this has been happening quite a bit. We're seeing a fake fixture release, of course, coming into this day, but we are now with the official fixtures released. They were leaked this morning and then officially released by the Premier League. But I've got to say, it's a pretty tough fixture list for us Newcastle United fans this season coming up. It's going to be a tough one. Looking at who will go against on the opening day of the season, we've got Aston Villa at Villa Park. And then, of course, from there, we've got Liverpool at St James's. Then we've got Leeds United, of course, away as well. So that's just the August fixtures. And then we'll go on to September's fixtures, where we've got Wolves at home. Then we've got Bournemouth, of course, away. And Arsenal, of course, at home. And if we look at the fixtures as well, 1 second, just get up. Where's it gone to? 1 second, lads and lasses. So we started off with, like I said, Aston Villa on the 16th of August. That match has already been picked for TV now. That match will be on TNT Sport on the 16th of August at 12, half 12 kickoff for that one. So that game's already been picked for television already. But looking at it, them fixtures that we've got, I'll put them up on screen for you guys so you can see them. These are the fixtures right here. And as you can see, they don't look good. Like I said, the fixtures in August there, we'll start off with Villa, we'll go with Liverpool, then Leeds, then we'll move on to Wolves. We've got Bournemouth, we've got Arsenal in there for the September period of the fixtures. Then we'll go to the October, where it's Nottingham Forest, Brighton Hove and Albion, of course, and Fulham. So 2 home games in October and 1 away game in October. September sees 2 home games and an away game. And August sees 2 away games and a home game. Then we'll look at November. We've got 3 away games and 1 home game. But that is a tough month. You can see right there, that is a very, very tough month of fixtures. You can see you've got Fulham, you've got West Ham there away down at the London Stadium. Then you move on to Brentford. Again, a game that we didn't do very well in last season. And then, of course, you've got the Man City game, which is at St James's Park. But again, it's Man City at St James's Park. It's a tough game. And then we've got Everton at their new stadium. Of course, the Dickinson Sports Stadium that they've just recently moved into, what was, of course, called Bramley Moore before they got that sponsorship. But, I mean, looking at August to November, them are some very, very tough fixtures right there. They really are. And you can see, that clearly these fixtures have been handpicked by the Premier League. They've not been drawn out by a computer, like we've been told so many times, where they say, these fixtures have been drawn out by a computer. It's clear and obvious that these fixtures have not been drawn out by a computer. It's clear that these fixtures have been drawn out by hand, as the way they've been drawn out as well. Looking at the way they've been drawn out, it just doesn't bode well at all. But we'll put the fixtures back up on screen. We'll run through them, of course, and talk about them in a bit more detail. So we've got the opening day game, like I say, against Villa. That is live on TNT Sport. Then we'll go to the Liverpool game the following weekend, of course, which is yet to be picked for TV, but I'm sure that one will be picked for TV. Then we'll go to the game against Leeds. You'd expect we to do something in that game. You'd expect we to do well in that game. It is at Elland Road. It is a ground where we do seem to struggle to play at as well. And we've had that quite a few times in the past. Then we'll look at the game against Wolves. Of course, it's St James's. Hopefully, it's a good game there for we as well. But if we look at, if I can get up another screen, 1 second, lads and lasses. I'll just try and get a different screen on here for you. This is a different one here, and you can see, right now by these fixtures, right here is what we're looking at. We've got the Carabao Cup that starts around the 17th of September due to qualification for the Champions League. So we'll enter the third round of the Carabao Cup on the 17th of September. Now, when I go back to the previous one, where I was just showing the fixtures up on the screen. So we'll look at the 17th of September. So 17th of September, we'll put it between the Wolves and the Bournemouth game. That would be when we'll be getting to know who will be taken on in the Carabao Cup. And that's something that we do need to know because we are the defending champions of the Carabao Cup, if we're winning it, of course, last season against Liverpool down at Wembley. So we're going to want to go in there and, do well and defend the cup if we can as well, win it again this season. So that'll be when we'll know, when and who we're going to be playing during that time for the Carabao Cup third round draw. But then moving on to, let's have a look at then the Derby Day. Will of course be the first Derby Day that we'll have. Will be of course on the 13th of December, which will be against the Mackems at theirs for the first time in a decade or over a decade since we played the Mackems in the Premier League. The last time we played them was the 15-16 season. So, I mean, literally, they've been out of the Premier League for so long. The Mackems are well up for this one, and I'm happy to, see the Derby Days are back in the Premier League as well, because that's going to be great for us. I just don't like the area that they've placed them, to be honest, because it's going to be around the time when we'd be doing Champions League football, and they've placed one of the Mackems games, of course, against us right after we've just been playing in Europe. So it's just not good by the Premier League, the way they've arranged these fixtures. It is a very tough fixture schedule. You can see that on the screen. You can clearly see that. I mean, look at some of the fixtures in there. You've got December alone. There's a home game against Tottenham, then there's Burnley, then there's a away game against the Mackems. You know that's going to be tough because they're going to want to go for it. Obviously, it'll be a rough, tough game. Then we've got, after that, a game against Chelsea and then Man U away. So, again, tough fixtures in that December period. As we see all the time with the Premier League, they always make very, very tough fixtures for us in that December period, in the festive period, when we know that there's going to be a lot of games needed to be played, and there's a lot of travel as well. Thankfully, they have somewhat made it 3 home games and 3 away games during that period as well. But but that's only because in the other months, you know, as you can see, they've pretty much given away quite a lot of away games early on to try and stop that momentum, you know, and stop us from being able to push forward fast. But let's not forget, last season, we didn't start the season all that great. And then, of course, we hit that December period. Things switched around. We put Sandro Tonali into that central defensive role. We put Bruno higher up in the number 10 role, and things just clicked like that. And we just went ahead and started performing absolutely brilliant, banging in goals, banging in performances right, left and centre, and claiming them points and pushing ourselves right the way up the table. I think at one point before that happened, you know, we were around, I think it was about 12th, I believe it was, we were around, and then out of nowhere, you know, we were inside the top 6 in the Premier League. So looking at these fixtures, is there any here that stand out to you? Obviously, the ones that we wanted to see is when we would be playing the Mackhams, and I'm sure that's what the Mackhams wanted to see as well, when we'd be getting that first derby since the 15-16 season in the Premier League. And of course, the other games that I was looking out for was games against, of course, Liverpool, with my sister being a Liverpool fan. Then were games that I was looking out for to see when we'll be playing Liverpool. And, of course, we're going to be playing them very, very early. And it will be 2 days before my sister's birthday as well. We'll actually be playing Liverpool as well. So that's going to be an interesting one. And then other games that I was looking out for, the likes of Arsenal, the likes of Man City when we'll be playing City as well. But I've got to say, looking at them fixtures, I am very, very angry that the Premier League have arranged the fixtures the way they have, because it's quite obvious that they are trying to stump our growth going forward, and it just doesn't look good at all. Let us know your thoughts, of course, lads and lasses, down in the comments below. As you could see there, I had the fixtures up on screen. You can see them. Pause it, you know, if you want to, and check them fixtures out. But I've got to say, very, very annoyed at the way that them fixtures have been arranged. You can clearly see that they have been arranged by hand, not by machine. And it's quite obvious, you know, that there is tampering going on at the Premier League to try and stop, you know, Newcastle pushing forward. And a lot of people can say otherwise on that. But before we end off the stream, I do want to, of course, look at some of your comments that you've put in here. I see some people in the chat, of course, and there's one comment here from Phil. Hiya, mate. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Afternoon, Carl. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, doing absolutely great, mate. Just very annoyed at them fixtures. I mean, really, really bad fixtures. It's a very tough start to the season, but I mean, at the end of the day, we are Newcastle United. We never do things easy, but I mean, that is just appalling, the way they've started their fixtures there for us going forward. But looking at another comment here from Phil, always best to get these tough games out the way early doors. Most important thing is that we get signings in before the season starts. Exactly. Fully agree with you, mate. You know, it is good in a way that we are getting, you know, these teams like Aston Villa out the way, Liverpool out the way, Arsenal out the way, because then it gives games where, you know, we have more of a chance to gain points quickly, more easy games, if you will. But there's never an easy game in the Premier League at the end of the day. But you get me meaning that, you know, we can gain some momentum, we can push forward as well. And I agree with you on that. Yeah, it is good that we are getting to have these tough games out the way, but it is annoying as well, because it's quite obvious that it is, you know, anti-competitive. They are single-handedly picking these games. It's not, you know, put out by a computer going forward. And looking at another comment here from Phil, Derby Day at the stadium was shite and St James Park's going to be fiery. It is. I am really, really looking forward to that film, mate. That is one of the things that when I seen, that they were promoted, I was hoping they were going to stay down, to be honest. And not that, I'm scared of them, because we're not, at the end of the day. But the reasons behind why I wanted to see them stay in the Championship was purely the fact of them, maybe being selected for a fixture around when we'd be playing Champions League games. And the Premier League's done exactly what I thought they would do. Just they haven't done it, in the way of putting them before we're going to a Champions League game. They've put them as after we've played the Champions League game. So it means, say we have to win that Champions League game before we play the Mackhams, we're then going to be going into that game against the Mackhams exhausted, tired, because we've put every ounce of energy we have into performing in that Champions League game. And that is just wrong that stuff like that has happened. And we've seen it in the past as well. We've seen this with the UEFA Cup years and years ago, when Newcastle were having to go up against Marseille in the UEFA Cup, and we ended up having a game against Marseille, and then we have a game against Chelsea not long after that. It was just literally ridiculous. So we've seen the Premier League do this before. It's nothing new, but it is annoying to keep seeing them picking the fixtures like this. But like you say, yeah, it is going to be absolutely fiery for the two derbies, both, one at St James's, one at the Stadium of Shite. And then, of course, another comment here from Phil, our home game against the Mackhams 3 days before my birthday, pending it will change. Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. All these fixtures can change, of course, due to television and all that as well. So they could be rearranged. So where we might be playing Man City on the 22nd of November, we could then be playing them maybe before we have to play a Champions League game, or after we've played a Champions League game. Or the same goes for other fixtures in there as well, like the Mackhams. Maybe we could end up having to play the Mackhams before we have to play a Champions League game, or before we have to play a cup game. So all these fixtures aren't set in stone. They are able to be moved around because the broadcasters are going to be in there, wanting to pick matches. And we've seen it last season, we were one of the most entertaining teams on TV, and we were one of the teams that was viewed the most on TV as well last season. So that is something, that we are going to have to wait and see what happens with the broadcasters going forward. But yeah, exactly. They're not set in stone. These fixtures can be moved around due to broadcasting rates as well. Looking at another comment as well from Phil, very active in the comments and in the chat today, Phil, mate. Nice to see that. I'm not a fan of the green kit pattern design, too generic, more like a goalkeeper top Adidas with major howler if it is the finished kit product. It is the finished kit product, unfortunately, Phil, mate. I have seen it. I'll see if I can try and get a picture of it up. I have actually seen the top. Yeah, 1 second. Let's just see if we can get a picture of that on to the channel. Yes. Yep, there it is, lads and lasses. As you can see, I'll just move the comment of Phil out of the way, but that's the top for, of course, the away shirt. As Phil said, a bit generic, but I have seen Celtic actually have a shirt like that as well in the past, Phil, mate. So it is something that we've seen Adidas do before, even if it might have not been with us. They have, of course, done it with other teams like Celtic. Like I say, I've seen Celtic with that. But it's not too bad, but it is a bit generic. But I'm sure it will fly off the shelves at the end of the day. You know, it's a Newcastle United shirt. It's going to fly off the shelves either way because we're a passionate fan base and we'll always go out there and show with pride and support to our team. Anyway, lads and lasses, before we end off the stream, I will show the fixtures one last time on the stream for anybody that is only just joining. And this is, of course, the fixtures right here. As you can see, we'll start off the opening day of the season against Aston Villa. Then we go into the second game of the season against Liverpool. Then we'll have Leeds, of course, on the third game. So an away game, a home game, and an away game. And then, of course, for September, it's a home game, away game, a home game with Wolves at home, Bournemouth away, Arsenal at home. Then October sees Forest at home against we, Brighton away, Fulham at home against we. November sees West Ham at theirs, Brentford at theirs, Man City at home, and Everton at theirs. Then December, where it's always a busy schedule, is of course Tottenham at home, Burnley at home, the Mackhams at theirs, Chelsea at ours, Man United at, of course, theirs, Burnley at theirs, and then we'll see the January fixtures, which is always a one that you look out for to see where the Premier League put that first fixture of the brand new year. And they've put us on the 3rd of January. Usually it's around the 1st of January or 2nd of January. But thankfully this time around it is the 3rd of January and it is a home game as well. Not great for Palace fans, I'm sure, travelling up, but for us Newcastle United fans, thankfully it is a home game because usually we do have to travel on that beginning month of the brand new year, and it is always a stickler to try and get to long distance travels, especially things like Crystal Palace, Bournemouth and what have you, further down south. And then of course got Leeds again on the 7th of January, and then seeing out the season down in the capital once again, and that is again another thing that we've seen in previous seasons where we've notably won in the 18-19 season 4-0 against Fulham on the last day of the season, and in the 2021 season we won 2-0 against them on the last day of the season down in the capital. We'll remember the trip along the Thames, of course. But let us know your thoughts anyway, lads and lasses, down in the comments below. There you go, on the side right there, you can see the fixtures. That's the fixtures for the brand new 25-26 season. But let us know what you think down in the comments below. And also, if you didn't check out the video I did yesterday, I am doing a prize draw on the channel. So if you want to be involved in that and you want to have a chance of winning a brand new 25-26 Newcastle United home shirt, the authentic player version of the shirt, 148 quid, then there is a QR code right here up on your screen right now. You scan that with your phone, or you can go and check out the video that I did yesterday. And of course, there is all the details in that video on how to enter to be in with the chance of winning the brand new Newcastle United home shirt for only £2, as you can see right there in the details. And of course, there is 2 runners-up prizes as well. But go check out that video from yesterday, find out the details, how to enter it, and I will be, of course, making sure that that gets out to the winner, and the other 2 runners-up prizes also get out to the winners of them as well before we start the brand new Premier League season. So till next time, remember, hit that like, share, subscribe to the channel, lads and lasses, and I'll see you all for the next one. However,